Now, another force at work that's perpetuating spiritual death is the prince of the power of the air. Paul talks about that. And the Bible says that when Satan fell, a third of the angels fell with him. This is the power of the air. Paul will say later in the book of Ephesians, for we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in the heavenly places. There is a spiritual battle. I tell people in counseling all the time, look, you're dealing with 200% truth every single day. You got the 100% of the physical reality that you're dealing with, and right behind it, you've got the unseen spiritual reality, 100% of that you're dealing with as well. You got to recognize that it's both and, it's not either or. And we have a tendency to see, the guy I'm dealing with, and I'm mad at him, and I'll tell you in the physical all the reasons why I'm angry with him and what he's done is wrong. But what I fail to realize in that moment and in the exercise of my anger is that there's a whole spiritual realm right behind it. And we don't recognize that it's the enemy that's at work, and this is what Paul's talking about. Prince of the power of the air. He says this is the spirit that works in the sons of disobedience. That word works, it literally means energizes. And what Paul is saying is that the unregenerate person, the person who hasn't surrendered to the Lordship of Jesus Christ, the person who is just living in the world in the flesh, well, that spiritually dead person is energized by the power of the air, by the demonic realm. And then he says there's this third force at work that's perpetuating spiritual death, and this is the lust of our flesh. And Paul says this includes the desires of the flesh and of the mind. In other words, our thoughts and our feelings. Mark's gospel says this, for from within, out of the heart of men proceed evil thoughts, adulteries, fornications, murders, thefts, covetousness, wickedness, deceit, lewdness, an evil eye, blasphemy, pride, foolishness. All of these evil things come from within, Jesus says, and they defile a man. And I want you to notice that Paul says here in Ephesians chapter 2, verse 2, that we once walked according to these forces. And know what that means when it says according to? It's the idea of being suppressed or being overridden or being dominated by. And here's the irony. The person who lives in the world who won't surrender life to the Lordship of Jesus Christ, they think they're free. When really they are suppressed, they're dominated, and they're enslaved by sin. Here's my question for you. Does that typify your life? Are you enslaved to sin today?